Hey friends, full reactions in the link in the description below, so pause, leave a like, really helps with the channel, subscribe, and come back after you watch the reaction for the discussion. Give you some time to do that. Review and commentary starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, I really like where this is going. They set up a lot with this episode, and they actually have us rooting for the League of Villains because we at the very least like them better than Overhaul. And Overhaul, meanwhile, only has loyalty to himself and his ideals, and is quick to give up his subordinates so that he can get away. And the people who work for him don't even work for him out of loyalty; they act for him out of fear. Meanwhile, Shigaraki, as twisted as he is, actually acts based on his emotions and connections with his teammates. I imagine a large reason he's even interested in taking down All Might is because his mentor, All for One, wants to take him down, and so he feels connected to All for One. He feels like he's been saved by All for One, so he feels like he wants to do whatever he can to make him proud. And he's been manipulated into hating his grandmother's successor. And he might hate Hero Society on his own because his grandmother left his father, but like even that is steeped in his own emotions and fear of abandonment. And yeah, it's really interesting seeing this all play out. I was right that Shigaraki is quick to learn and adapt because before, when he first attacked the USJ, everyone was saying that he was just a petulant child, and then he became this leader that everyone in the criminal world, underworld, wanted to join up with. And even Overhaul wanted to use his the League of Villains name to garnish investors. And then he actually came in chastising Shigaraki for not having a plan, and Shigaraki quickly formulates one to take down Overhaul from the inside with two of his most trusted allies. And so, yeah, he's a quick learner, and I've mentioned before that he might be too far gone to save, but I haven't closed the book on him entirely just yet. I don't think it's impossible. I just think that you can't take actions that risk the lives of others in an effort to save him. But yeah, the author Harukishi definitely feels like he wants us to empathize with the villains. And I've mentioned this before too, that I hoped Harukishi goes this way and makes the villains like endlessly compelling, because that's really what makes a story like this compelling, in my opinion. Like heroes who fight this great evil force can be a fine story, but like real people fighting real people and us, the audience, understanding and sympathizing with all of them is just so much better, at least in my opinion. I actually have a friend who thinks that the Fire Lord in Atla in Avatar: The Last Airbender is an incredible villain, and I'm just like, his backstory is bad guy is bad. Like, what's interesting about that? Not to say it's a bad story. It's just it comes down to personal taste, though. Just saying that what Horokishi is doing is much more my speed. But yeah, to extend the Avatar analogy, I greatly preferred Zahir, Amon, and even Kuvira over the Fire Lord. The Fire Lord just wasn't interesting to me. But he made for a good final battle, but like other than that, I didn't care about him at all, really. But yeah, Twice's regret over bringing Overhaul to see the League of Villains in the first place, resulting in the death of Magna and the loss of Compress's arm. It's hard not to feel for someone who feels like they're responsible for the death of a close friend. And speaking of which, we learned this episode that Rappa went after Overhaul, I think, one time and then 5 times afterwards, and got destroyed and put back together every single time. Which means that Overhaul actually could have put Magna back together and chose not to, which is brutal. And I don't think Shigaraki and the League know this, but if they do, they have to be extra, extra angry, right? And Rappa, speaking of Rappa, he loves fighting so much. His enthusiasm, his thirst for violence and competition is actually kind of charming. Like, this thrill he gets when he finds someone worthy fuels him completely and utterly. And he recognizes Kirishima as a man and just wants to fight him and Fat Gum again. Completely overzealous, and it's kind of hilarious. Fat Gum basically just stops Kirishima's bleeding, and Rappa's like, let's go! Let's go fight again! Even though his arms are still broken. He's really funny, actually. And we have Rappa, a clone of Rappa, and Twice face off against Sir Night-Eye. And Night-Eye is much more impressive than I thought. I figured he'd have to be good in a battle because his quirk can only be used once a day. So he's got these high-density seals. From the bottom, they look like they could be chess pieces, and I think it would have been really cool to see how different chess pieces could have different properties, but I guess the only property they have and really need is density. So even though he's not big in any way, he looks rather slender. He's got some very strong muscles that he can just like fling these 11-pound seals around like they're nothing. And I wonder how many he's carrying with him, because if he carries just even 5, that's an extra like 50 something pounds, right? And yeah, he doesn't really look like he has any muscle on him, so his muscles must be like really, really dense themselves. He's the high density seal. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah, so I'm very impressed that even though it was just a clone of Rappa, he still went down like it was nothing. And he gets twice too, ripping off his mask, and twice starts splitting, only to be saved by Toga. And I don't know, Twice and Toga seem to have Twice. One of Twice's personalities has a one way romance with Toga. Still don't know how old Toga is, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But yeah, earlier on, Toga takes down Rocklock rather easily. I heard Rocklock the first time I heard his name, but this episode I kept hearing Lock. So I don't know if it's just my ears playing tricks on me or what. But yeah, she takes him down rather easily. It's actually really impressive that she's can take down so many heroes and have the edge over so many heroes even without using her quirk. Like as talented as Eraserhead is with his scarf, she maneuvers around it and flips over him to stab him. It kind of reminds me of other media where there are all these powered people, and then there are some people who have no powers who are still incredibly capable, like in Avatar: The Last Airbender or Marvel, things like that. And I'm wondering how. I'm wondering now if there are any heroes in this universe of My Hero Academia who don't have a quirk. Like I have to imagine yes, right? Because if you have someone who's as skilled as Toga is in combat or even Night Eye, like their quirks aren't suited to being used all the time in battle, and yet they're extremely capable in battle, even without them. So anyway, wondering if that will play into anything going forward. If there are people without quirks who are capable of being heroes. Shigaraki also mentions that Kuroguri has some sort of mission that can't be put aside at the moment. So sounds like he has more than one plan in place after having none in place. And I wonder what the rest of the league is doing while Twice and Toga are on in this infiltration mission. And I'm also curious how Overhaul isn't more suspicious of Twice and Toga. Because I guess obviously they feel anger over Magna and Compress. Like, how can he not see that? Or I guess he views his own people as expendable and figure that the League must not be that upset over the loss of Magna and Compress's arm beyond just like lowering the League's battle power. I don't think he can think any other way, I guess. And he just views people as tools to be used, as seen with everybody in the Yakuza and with Eri even. But yeah. Oh, it definitely sounds like Overhaul has completed at least one sample of this quirk stealing drug or quirk killing drug that works permanently. And because of the concept of Chekhov's gun, I worry that it'll be fired at some point and it'll hit one of our heroes. But yeah, the fear that one of our heroes, someone we really care about, loses their quirk, it's horrible, but it also raises the stakes, raises the intensity of the action and emotion for the rest of the arc. So yeah, really hyped for the rest of the episodes. I'm going to give this a 9.0. My friend told me that the last 3 episodes kind of all take place at the same time, and that's how Mirio hasn't caught up to Overhaul yet. So originally I was like, he can pass through walls. How is he not there yet? But given the overlapping of the timelines, it's possible he's already there, and we're just learning about everything else that happens around the same time, which I can appreciate. But yeah, if somehow this is not a 2-arc season and we don't save Eri till the end of season 4, I'm going to be... I don't know if I can hold on that long. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, really helps the channel, and I'll see you guys next week with more. We are 1 week ahead over on Patreon at the early reaction tier and 3 weeks ahead at the full reaction tier. So yeah, check that out. Bye, friends.